Yo. Testing 1, 2, 3. What up, though? What's good? What is good? Hopefully, everybody having a great Monday. Salute, big old salute to you. Big salute. Let me see. Let me fix this camera a little bit. It's a little bit on the tilt side. I think it's a little bit all right. I think it's all good. But what up, though? SUPERDELL here. I'm not going to keep y'all long because the games are on. I know quite a few of y'all, you want to watch the game. I do as well. Give a couple minutes for people to come in. And I'm some of y'all saw this app that I disclosed last, probably a week and a half ago. That might be good for your locals. We'll talk about that. Also, we'll talk about, all these streaming devices, the benefit to them. We'll have just a nice little conversation and then things like that. Matter of fact, what I do, starting off early, all right, because it is May the 8th, right? It's May 8th. If you want to jump on, I don't do this all the time, but if you want to come on and, join the panel, give people options. That way, you get get a viewpoint from not just myself. If you want to come on, I'm a person. I don't just stick to one device. I try them all. From the NVIDIA Shield, Apple TV, Sadoo devices, Formula, Buzz TV, Amazon devices, name it. I pretty much tried them all. They are beneficial. It's a beneficial aspect to all of these devices. Some devices are going to do better than others. Some devices are going to play apps better than others. We have to get out of the mindset because it costs this much that it should run better, or because it's this cheap it won't run great at all. So every device cater to somebody needs. Not everybody want to watch 4K content. Not everybody need to listen to Dolby Atmos, all of that stuff as far as audio or True HD, anything like that. Everybody has a personal preference. Now, there are some things that you could do with a more expensive device, right? As far as, viewing it correctly, all of that. But everything has to make sense. You should at least have the television that actually cater to what you're trying to do, including sound bar, all of that. That's just me. All right, that's just me. We get into this, with these options and everything. We to me, I can't speak for anybody else. Every device that was a part of this art cover for this live video, I use them. I use them a lot. The NVIDIA Shield got pushed over for a minute to make room for the Apple TV 4K. Apple TV 4K is one of my favorite devices because it runs so smooth. The apps, if you put the apps on there, they pretty much work. All right, if you install the app on Android devices, there's no guarantee that every Android device every Android application is going to work for that system, which I will show you today. So it really, with Androids, it just really Uh, you got to find what works for you and all of that. It's just that you know we have so many options, but everybody doesn't need what this person or that person or myself wants out of a device. And that's the beauty of it, because like y'all seeing these on Walmart on devices, people are getting them not only for the hustle, they're getting it because it's a cheap $20 device and you can still watch 4K content, on it. Um, and when I say 4K, I'm not meaning something that's 100 gigabytes, because I don't know if it'll work on this or not. I know 60 gigs work on it. I know that because I have a RIP 60 gig 4K. I want to say the Avengers, and it played very well using the Plex app. Um, so that it does play and it does do the job. Now, if they want to get into some Dolby Atmos and all that, then you might have to go another route. But um, for the basic needs in streaming, I think that device to get it done. And if you want all the bells and whistles, then you got to spend a little bit more money. And it just really comes down to what you want, what you need, how to set up. Because I done talked to people who had went out and bought the Vizio Elevate. They got the Nvidia Shield, but then they got a little cheap little $200 55-inch Insignia television. And they say, oh, it says it's going to be uh, Dolby Atmos and all of that, but it's very, very limited, and, a crappy television, with all the bells and whistle devices is kind of defeating the whole purpose of what you're trying to accomplish. So, with today, that's why I never try to push a device on anyone anymore. All right. I think back in 2016, 17, a lot of us was pushing the Nvidia Shield. But I just think with certain devices, you can still enjoy your media content. You can still play games on it. It just comes down to personal preference and what you like, what you want. You know, Honestly, that's what it comes down to. Now, again, I'll open it up. If you come, you got to cam up. You can't. I'm not just going to let anybody just jump on this bad boy. But there are options. Now, I hear a lot of information. Get the Nvidia Shield, get the Nvidia Shield, get the Nvidia Shield, or either go home. Or don't get nothing. The greatest and the best thing, get the Nvidia Shield and stuff like that. So, with that being said, you can get the Nvidia Shield. It's really up to you, you know, but you have to have all the bells and the whistles. You got to have everything that goes with it. At least I think, or at least plan in the future to get them. Some of us can't just go out there and just buy an Nvidia Shield, buy $1,000 television, and buy $1,000 sound system, audio system, and then everything is just like that. It may take a couple months or maybe 6 months to get everything going, but when you get there, you'll know you're there. But uh, yeah, it was interesting when I talked to the individual, and I'm not downing them. I'm not downing because even I had to start. All right, even I had to start. Um, but you have to be honest, and say, hey, well, you got everything, but your TV is not. That's not the correct TV to get. So you know what you got to work on, and go from there. What up, Brandon? What's good with you?
What's up? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yep,
Oh,
I
okay.
sound
I
better.
was I was about to say you knew I was gonna be here.
Yeah, that's what's up. That is what's up. Um, and again, guys, it just comes down to personal preference. Me, you know, um, as y'all know, I started Plex a long time ago, just a very, very long time ago. And then I got into the Zadu. I always had the Zadu. It just, with the one Zadu media box that I had, it did not play IPTV very well, you know, and it could have been, the package, the software package that was running. It just was a bad. It was a real terrible experience, and so I had to sit that one down until I got the Z9X, and then I got the Z10 Pro. Um, Again, certain devices going to cater to certain things, but I'm happy that a lot of these devices that they are bringing out today are catering to our needs, and they are listening, and and a lot of these applications have support, or support these applications that are coming out today, and it just gets the job done. Now, I have not met, and I don't know about Brandon, I have not met one perfect device. I don't care about the Nvidia Shield. I don't care whether it's the Zadu. All of them have their flaws. Every last device have their flaws. You know, I can tell you now, if you're using Android, and I'm quite sure y'all use Androids, right? Pretty much, probably about 85% of people, their streaming devices is an Android. You can't tell me you have not experienced an application crashing. I done had it happen on from the Nvidia Shield, Fire Stick, shoot, them little cheap little Android boxes you get from China. It just happens. But I can tell you now, I have not had an application crash on me on the Apple TV 4K. Now, maybe I'm just lucky. I don't know. I have not had one crash since I even start letting everybody know that you can cut the cord with an Apple TV 4K. And then, you had people like, hey, that ain't true, Dolby, and all this. Well, that may not be what I'm looking for with that application or with that device. But I have yet, I bullcrap you not, I have yet to be sitting there watching something or using one of the applications, and they just crash and put me right back to the main menu of that device. I don't know, but um, I'm quite sure if you ran the Nvidia Shield to do, you have come across where application done crash. I mean, it's Android, is open source. It's not perfect. Not to say that Apple TV applications are perfect, because they're not. You know, Apple TV sometimes developers get, I ain't gonna say lazy, but they get behind the eight ball on updates. Certain things to make the application better. I don't know if that's the developers or is that Apple saying, "Hey, nah, we ain't, nah," because they do it that way. Nah, it could be either or. But Brandon, what do you think? Like, what are your quality and needs for a streaming device?
Sorry, my internet just broke up. So, am I still here?
Yeah, you here? Yeah,
Oh, okay, okay. Well, actually, I use multiple devices for. I wouldn't really say convenience, but just because ever since I started watching you, I just started picking stuff up. So my main one now for just my regular YouTube watching is probably the on device because while the on device, I don't think it supports Dolby Atmos, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't think so.
YouTube doesn't. I don't think there's anything on YouTube that is in Dolby Atmos. And even if there was, like I go to YouTube to watch, people talking and stuff, so it doesn't really matter. And then of course I have my Zadu for all of my movies and TV shows. So like that's like my like if I want to watch something in the highest quality, um, and listen to it in the highest quality, I'll mess around with the Zadu. Um, but in terms of if I'm trying to stream Dolby Atmos or I'm trying to stream like some super like HDR or anything like that. I used to go with my Apple TV, but I've since replaced that with just using like my TV's built-in um what you call it, like the built-in Android system that's within the TV.
Yeah.
Because in my TV, it supports everything from HDR to HDR 10 plus, Dolby Vision, all that, and it also supports Dolby Atmos pass through. So I don't really need any other device to be able to stream all that because my TV is both fast enough and it supports all of it. So that's what I feel like a lot of people aren't really talking about, especially if these people are buying like a TV like now. Most of these TVs are really adequate for most people, especially if they support all of the different HDR standards and the different audio standards. And I mean, in my opinion, that would save people a lot of money because let's say you spend, even if you buy something like a TCL 5 series, which is like their mid-level TV. I think they're on sale right now for like 549 for like a 65-inch. Those are more than adequate for pretty much anything you can throw at it other than something like a Blu-ray disc or like a big local file, which of course that would be more suited to the Zadoo. But yeah, I kind of. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, you're right, because a lot of televisions, really, if you get something that's on whether it's Google TV or Android TV OS, a lot of these televisions within the last couple years can actually cater to what you need. You know, really, if it's Android based, even the Amazon Omni TV series, um, you really don't. Honestly, you really don't need a device, a streaming device. You got a streaming device. Um, Also, a lot of these Ultra HD players, such as a 4K player, cater to it. A lot of them, at least the one that I have, I got the Samsung. It has the Plex app right on the interface. So if I wanted to install that, yeah, I can install that right there off the Samsung operating system and just sign into my Plex right then and there. So I mean, a lot of these platform, a lot of these media streaming devices or media players, let me say media players, actually caters a lot to our needs, unless you just want to add third party applications to them. But if you follow me, I always tell you to get your own. You know, don't depend on these third party applications and don't depend on anyone. Get your own, start your own media library and go from there. It's a better experience. What would you think, Brandon?
Um, well, first I want to uh kind of explain why I moved away from the Apple TV now that I'm thinking about it. And a lot of people know this now but didn't used to know this, but the Apple TV doesn't support DTS at all. So, a lot of like 4K movies and stuff, they have DTS-X, which is just Dolby Atmos but made by a completely different company. But the Apple TV can't play it, and it also doesn't natively support Dolby True HD. So you have to use apps like Infuse and all that to work around it a certain way. And I am personally not a fan of like putting a band-aid on, like I want it to just be a native thing, and the Apple TV is more than powerful enough to support it. As a company, they're just not doing it. But what I don't really like about the Blu-ray players is that if you want to get like a really decent Blu-ray player. So the big players now in the Blu-ray player space is probably like Sony and Panasonic and LG to some extent. And if you want like all of the formats that come on Blu-ray discs and 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray discs, you're gonna have to spend at least like 270-ish to $300. And I think when you're talking about that, um, I would personally go with something like maybe a Zadoo, and then something like a Fire TV Stick. What is it called? Fire TV Stick 4K Max, which has been on sale for $34.99 forever. And that thing supports, I'm pretty sure it supports everything. I know it supports Dolby Atmos, and I'm pretty sure it supports Dolby Vision. And usually, if something supports Dolby Vision, it'll also play HDR10 plus. But I just don't really, I don't really enjoy the interface on a lot of Blu-ray players, and I find them kind of slow. And also, companies don't really update them as often as they should. Versus something like a Fire TV. Well, all of the Amazon Fire devices get updated at least every month. I know with the Zadoo, they're knocking out updates. I think the last beta one came out like 3 weeks ago. And I always like to keep everything updated. So if a new format comes out or just, regular stability. So like you said at the beginning, apps don't just crash all the time, if you know what I mean.
Hmm. I agree. And like I said, it just comes down to whatever you like. But a lot of times, y'all already have this stuff in your home. You just don't know about it because it's not advertised. It's not on YouTube, like telling you what to go to and all of that. Um, I know I can go over here right now and plug up my Samsung Ultra HD player and just go in and show you some of the apps that all of us use. Maybe not these third party applications, which I still, to me, to me, I think we should really, if you've been following me, we should be well advanced, at least in our own household. Now, if you're getting your hustle on, I understand, but we should be well advanced from using these third party applications, knowing what we know today. But a lot of us have it. Your phone. Your phone is very, very powerful. And some of us, you can actually use your phone. That could be your streaming device. And some people want to say, well, my phone, I want it hardwired and stuff like that. Well, they have hubs that can take your phone off of Wi-Fi. If you want to just plug it in and things like that. See, it's the beauty of it. A lot of us, we have this content right here in front of us. But again, it's not advertised on YouTube. Every night you'll see somebody sit back, man, and be like, hey, yeah, I use my tablet. That's my streaming device. And they have Bluetooth keyboards, or like I say, they're using these hubs, right? They're using these hubs, plugging it into their phones or tablet, and all they doing is connecting the keyboard, and they'll take it off of Wi-Fi, and and get the job done. There are plenty, and it's nothing wrong with that. It's definitely nothing wrong with it. Whatever gets the job done, and people go. We go. I think a lot of us, and I would love to know, um, like, what's the average? I wish there was a way we can get the average number of people who actually use Dolby Atmos, who actually use other formats and stuff like that. I think your home theater enthusiasts, well, I say enthusiasts, um, they are into it. But I would love to get the number, or wish we had some type of poll where the the average user, they're using that audio, the newest audio technology. To me, I'm gonna tell you like this: I don't think it's high. I don't think it's high, and this is why I'm gonna say that is because I think the average person who's streaming, like they with today's um um people, I think a lot of people use like their tablets or their phones to stream, and they cast out. And to me, I would love. I can't prove it, but I would love to know the percentage of people who are using, you know, these high powered devices such as like an Nvidia Shield or even the Apple TV 4K, using it to its fullest potential. I would love to get that type of that data, up to date data, and then go from there.
One thing I would say is that Apple Music, when they first introduced their whole lossless thing, they also introduced Dolby Atmos in music. And like I know you said Dolby Atmos would probably be like low in terms of usage, but I feel like you have to think about, well, first of all, Apple Music has like I think a few 100 million subscribers, and on an iPhone when you sign up for Apple Music, it automatically turns on Dolby Atmos. So that means if you don't want it, you have to go in and turn it off specifically. So, in my opinion, just with that, I feel like that would kind of inflate the numbers. And also, even if we're talking about home theater type stuff, pretty much every soundbar now, even if it's not like true Dolby Atmos, it'll support Dolby Atmos. So like the cheapest TCL bar still puts the Dolby Atmos logo on there, and it can take Dolby Atmos, and then you can go all the way up to the most expensive sound bars, and they're also playing Dolby Atmos. And additionally, like when you go into like Netflix or Apple, what is it called, Apple TV Plus, if you have something that supports Dolby Atmos plugged in, it'll automatically play it. You like I said again, you would have to manually go in there and turn it off. So I feel like there's a difference between people that are personally going out here like I need Dolby Atmos, and people that are actually listening to it, because especially in today's age, it's a lot easier to get into Dolby Atmos and listen to it than to like have never experienced it before, because even movie theaters now are using Dolby Atmos and DTSX and stuff. So I feel like more people than maybe we think have experienced and continue to listen to things like Dolby Atmos or DTSX even if they don't know it.
Yeah, I don't know. Me knowing I've been in this, I don't know, and it's just hard for me to. I wish we had the data to actually prove it. To me, from my experience, um, like I said, it's just hard to put a number on it. But I think a lot of people some people just stream. Like it was people who were, including myself, before it was brought to my attention. When you think Netflix, you watch some content on Netflix and it's 4K, to find out it's not even true 4K. So, and that's what, once I learned that, I'm like, hold up, what you mean it's not 4K? And this was from who brought this up? Juggernaut. Juggernaut brought this up like four years ago, and I was totally in the dark because I'm thinking when they say 4K, it's 4K, and it's somewhat true, but it's not true. It's compressed 4K. So I don't think a lot of people, to me, from my experience, I don't think a lot of people even, they may not know they have it, they may not use it. Uh, like my mom's got a sound bar, My mom, she has one of my sound bars, right? That I get in the past, which carries it, but she doesn't listen to it. She rather listen to it off of the television. You know, the thing I don't know. I wish it was some type of data where we can find out and actually see exactly, and which we probably going we could. It got to be some type of website out there that generates that. But I got to think that number is kind of low. I don't think unless you a home theater enthusiast, I think a lot of people don't. They really is either they don't know or they really don't care. They just want to be able to just plug in. There's probably a lot of people that doesn't even use eARC. They straight up going to HDMI one from a sound bar, not knowing that they can use eARC and it can benefit them and stuff like that. I can probably agree that a lot of people don't even know about HDMI CC. You know, when you go into that department and turn that stuff on, you know, and when you and like I said, I don't have the data to bring it up, but just going off experience, how even people with NVIDIA Shields, like I said earlier, NVIDIA Shield Vizio Elevate, but got an Insignia television, the cheapest thing on the market that we know is not going to give you that picture, that sound, or anything like that. So that's why I said what I. That's why I pointed because a lot of times, and look, and I'm gonna tell you like this: unless you went to one of them channels where them guys actually explained it, explained it. No, a lot of people was out here dropping these Nvidia Shield videos, just telling you like majority of the pros, but not telling you exactly what you needed to do to get everything out of it. Unless you just went to one of those them them guys who actually that's what they love. They was home theater through it enthusiasts.
Um. Oh, sorry.
No,
Oh, okay. I was just gonna say. I've dug through Google, and Dolby doesn't say any usage numbers in terms of Atmos. All they talk about is how many devices support Dolby Atmos, which apparently is over 200,000 from like phones to soundbars to TVs. It's a pretty crazy number, but I did find an article on Apple that said it came out in January of 2023, and it says that more than 80% of the worldwide Apple Music subscribers enjoy spatial audio, and the monthly plays in spatial audio since the launch, which was in 2021, have grown by over 1,000%. And all spatial audio is Dolby Atmos. That's just Apple branding it something else.
yeah,
So apparently, like I said, this came out 3 months ago. So apparently, 80% of the people on Apple Music are enjoying Dolby Atmos, and that'll be like 80% of something like. Well, shoot, let me just look up how many Apple Music subscribers there are.
that's Apple Music though.
But
But
it's still Dolby Atmos.
yeah, but is that the same as watching a movie?
Okay, yeah, I get what you mean. It's not the same,
Yeah,
even though it's the
because
same technology.
if you look at it, my wife, like she watch her specific TV shows and stuff like that, or a movie every now and then. But the big thing, the big selling point for Apple is what? Apple Music.
Hmm.
People love that Apple Music. And but when we switch it over to what we like I'm not listen, I got Amazon. I mean, as long as it got the boom boom in it in my car, it is what it is. But I believe as far as when you go music, it should sound good. Now, whether your car or whether your device at home caters to it, that's a different thing. Cause people got Bluetooth, them little $20 Bluetooth where they push it out. Does it sound as good as a Bose or some higher end Sony or whatever like that? Heck,
Hmm.
But I mean, it probably displays out. But for the home theater enthusiast who wants to watch that movies, That's where I was going with it right there. Because music, man, as long as you got the stereo system, it all sounds good. It sounds good.
Well, shoot. Now I'm looking into Dolby Atmos, and it has penetrated the market of almost everything. Like Amazon Music apparently has Dolby Atmos if you look for it. There's Dolby Atmos on the Xbox. There's Dolby Atmos on the PlayStation 5,
Yeah.
Apple Music. Pretty much every streaming service supports Dolby Atmos. I didn't know just how deep they got into the market of like everything.
Yeah, and look, I bull crap you not, man. If you was around here like 4 to 5 years ago, because look, I think a lot of people, because if you go from the history of the cord cutters, it wasn't it to, look, at least from my personal, you know, it wasn't no creator out here saying, uh, you know, and it may, like I say, core. I'm talking about hardcore. I ain't talking about no guy to do this gadget, and talk about this. No, I'm talking about hardcore cord cutters, like guys that got out there. Hey man, I'm using this. I cut the cable cord. I did all of this right. I'm talking about hardcore. There was not um no one out there. But Juggernaut, shout out to Juggernaut explained it and broke it down. He said, listen, for that bandwidth, it's too much bandwidth, first of all. It's too much bandwidth. If they send 100 gigabyte down that streaming line, it's no way, it's no way that you, me, and 30 million other people going to be able to watch that content at the same time. you know, and that's why everything had to be compressed. Now, because it was compressed, that doesn't mean the quality was bad, because it definitely ain't bad. But what was brought to my attention, the only way you're gonna to get true cinema, Dolby Atmos, everything, you got to have the player. You got to have that's the truest form that you can get. You got to have that disc. You have to. And even when you rip a little bit, because and then again, I did some research as well. Ripping ripping is cool, because that's like, you taking that image and either you putting it to something. But the truest, they're gonna give you all your little bells and whistles, is you must have that physical disc. At least that's how I took it in the format, and I started going on YouTube, real disc versus rip disc, and all of them say, look, it's not that much of a difference, but that one disc that's meant for everything, that's your purist right there. That is the purist. I would use another analogy, but it's not for YouTube, and I don't want to get flagged, but that's your purist right there. At least that's how it was taught to me, and listening to Jug and some of these other individuals. That's all you got to do is um, um, 4K disc versus ripped, and you got some of these guys who break it down, saying, yeah, but all of them came out and say, listen, if you want the purest, then you definitely gonna go with that disc. And I could be wrong, and that was some years ago. Technology changes every single day, so I don't, it could be it something. Things could have changed from there.
Um. Oh, sorry.
No,
Oh, okay. I was just gonna say. I went into it like when I first started ripping, especially 4K discs, like especially discs that people consider to be like reference quality. So like something like Dune or I remember when the first couple the newer Spider-Man movies came out, people said those were like reference discs. So when I first started doing that, and I learned about Make MKV, I went deeper into it, and I discovered that, well, first of all that's on a Blu-ray is a digital representation of the movie. It's just in a different file format. So most Blu-rays use a file format called .m2ts, which is basically like MKV, but it's locked down, and it has a whole lot of like encryption standards within it, so that way you can't just take a Blu-ray disc, put it in whatever player you want to, and just copy it. Like you have to use certain programs and stuff. But I've personally taken I've backed up an entire disk as an ISO with Make MKV, put it on my computer, and you can compare digital files directly to each other to see if they're exactly the same. And I've done this with the biggest files on a Blu-ray disc, which is the movie. I've done it with subtitles. I've done it with tiny audio tracks. I've done it with little pictures that are shown, like when you play a Blu-ray, like the logo of the movie or whatever. And I have found that me specifically using Make MKV and backing up entire ISOs, both files are exactly the same. And there is definitely, for my eye, there is no difference in any kind of visual quality or audio quality when it comes to playing a virtual like representation of a disc versus an actual disc that is spinning in a 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray player.
Yep. Well, and that's what we was taught too. He said the eye is not gonna catch it. He said, "Hey, I'm bullcrap you not." Jug was like, "Look, the eye is not going to see it because our eyes are not, you know, built for it." So yeah, I understand. But like I said, I don't rip some disc and I go on there, but then I see them guys from like Modulus. I bullcrap you not. Modulus or one of them, and their disc be a little bit larger than what we ripped. And I thought that was interesting. I'm like, hold up, we got the same disc name. You download the whole, but theirs was a little bit extra, which could be because they getting theirs directly coming down the pipeline from the source, and maybe
Mhm.
it's just some other benefits and stuff like that. So I don't know. It's a when I compress through handbrake, I will use pass through. Oh yeah, yeah. I know what you're talking about, Elijah. Yeah, yeah. The human eye can't tell 1080p over 4K in most cases is agreeing true. I can disagree with that. I could say the human eye can tell the difference between. Oh, it is a difference between 1080 and 4K. Would you agree, Brandon?
Um, let's see.
Before you answer, I'm gonna tell you because I done had regular disc,
Hmm.
and I done had that 4K on the same television, and it's just certain little things that at least me, at
Hmm.
least me, it's certain little details you can see a little bit. I ain't gonna say a little bit. It's certain details you can see better with a 4K versus 1080p.
One thing I feel like we're missing though is the details behind what 1080p platform are you using and what 4K platform are you using? Because if we take a 1080p Blu-ray disc, right, and we compare it to a 4K stream, a, in my eyes, I've seen a lot of 1080p Blu-rays that look a decent amount better than a 4K stream. Now, if we're talking about two identical things,
This, do this.
if we're taking two identical discs, then if we strip all of the differences between 4K and 1080p Blu-rays, other than the pure resolution, excuse me, then yeah, the 4K will look a bit better than 1080p. But with 4K discs, we also have to talk about HDR. We also have to talk about Dolby Atmos and/or DTSX because those technologies also add to the picture quality
Yeah.
and the audio quality. So, in essence, you can't you can't really compare a 1080p disc to a 4K disc purely in video quality when it comes to just resolution, because pretty much every 4K disc also has some sort of HDR in there, which a lot of people prefer. But in my experience, from whether it's a 1080p YouTube stream versus a 4K YouTube stream, usually, because I don't like to generalize, so usually a 4K anything, if we compare it to an identical source, and the only difference is 1080p versus 4K. The 4K will look a bit better. But scientifically speaking, 4K should look four times as good. No, not four times, two times as good as 1080p. And I don't think it's quite there. I don't think, from my eye, it looks twice as better. If we're just talking about pure resolution, it looks a bit better to me personally, but I don't know.
And that's why I say, you could tell certain detail. You could definitely tell. So Don, yeah, certain detail when you got them two discs right there in front of you, put them in the player, because that one thing about that, and I'm going Ultra HD. I'm going Ultra HD, right? So when you put that, you can have both the movies, right? And you can put them in there. Same film.
Mm-hmm.
You might have just a DVD version and you got a 4K. You're going to see the difference. Just like, to me, in my personal opinion, when you got compressed 4K versus that real digital image that you done bought this 4K disc, to me, you can still see the quality difference in it. Now, it's not that much, but you can tell. And one thing about it, I downloaded a 4K. I think it was like, might have been like 20 some gigs of other Avengers or Iron Man, one of them, but it was compressed. But then, and I remember when I first got it, and some of y'all in the chat remember this. I said, what the heck? Because when I put the 4K disc in there on the television, and I looked at Thanos part came up. And when you see every little imprint in that big old chin, and when I went back to the compress, it was there, but it wasn't vivid compared to having that physical 4K disc. At least in my eyes, where I can detail it. And remember, y'all was with me, big, so bro. I say, damn, it is a quality difference. And this was years when when Juggernaut was saying, yeah, this, we were all talking about video quality. I don't even think we was really talking about HDR or anything like that. Not yet, anyway. So this is before the audio and all of that as well. But to me, at least my eyes saw the difference between streaming compressed 4K versus that physical disc image. When I'm telling you, and this is like when I'm telling you the physical disc image, Ultra HD, at least my eyes saw it. And I remember bragging on it. I wish I could know which live it was. When I was like, man, dude. And this is before I got back into the Zadoo and all of that, and and got all of that going. But it definitely, to me, in my opinion, there's a difference between the 1080 and the 4K. But hey, Don, like some people don't care. Like and y'all heard me say this multiple times. My uncle refuses to go to the show. It could be a dark film and he's gonna watch that cam. And then he gonna say, man, that was good. If it was upside down, y'all remember back in the day when the camera, you had to look at the movie like this, you be like, or somebody walking in front, or the person in front of them coughing and all of that stuff, or you hear a bunch of laughing and all of that. Some people are dedicated fans of that. My uncle will watch a movie. He don't care. He doesn't care. If it's a cam, he will watch it and be like, man, no, that movie's terrible. Stuff like that. But I understand, To me, I just believe that there is a difference. It just depends what equipment you have and what you're using. To tell you the truth, that, in my opinion, it just depends on your equipment and stuff. I could be.
One thing. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
You go ahead. You go ahead.
I was just gonna say. I feel like one thing that we are not really talking about is that pure resolution in terms of 1920 by 1080 versus 4K, which is 3840 by 2160, doesn't really tell the whole story because the main difference between a 4K stream and a 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray disc is something called bitrate. And all bitrate is how much data we are pushing through a tube and showing on a screen. So if we take the best looking 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray disc, right? Let's take Dune for example. The video of Dune, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's something like 90-ish megabytes per second or megabits per second. Sorry, and all that means is we are pushing a certain amount of video data every second to a screen. And we're talking about 90 megabits per second. Now, you can equate this to most people's internet speed. I believe the last time I looked at the statistic, the average US internet speed is something like 50 megabits per second, which means if you wanted to stream Dune, the whole movie, like in the same quality as a disc, the majority of people in the United States wouldn't be able to do it. So, when we take that into account, like I said, Dune of 4K of the 4K disc is something like 90 megabits per second. The highest quality streaming service at the moment, if we're not talking about like Modulus or what's the other one called? Uh,
Escape.
yeah, Kaleidoscape. Yeah, I blanked. If we're not taking those into account, because those are like specialist type things,
Yeah.
the highest quality 4K streams that we have now are somewhere around 20 to 25 megabits per second. So if we take a 98 megabit per second thing and we compress it even more than it's already compressed, because even on a 4K disc, they still have to compress it. But if we take that and compress it even more, that means we're missing out on things like the smoothness of colors. We're losing out on things like the detail of someone's beard,
Yeah.
or the super bright highlights won't be as bright, or the water won't look as smooth. Like all that stuff matters. And I feel like for years and years and years, people have constantly been worrying about 1080p versus 4K. But in my opinion, what people should really be worrying about is looking deeper into it other than just the resolution. Because, like I said before, the average bitrate of a regular 1080p Blu ray is anywhere from 50 to 60 megabits per second. So that means even in a regular 1080p Blu ray versus a 4K stream, yes, that 4K stream will have HDR and all that, but it will be at a much reduced bit rate. So it'll overall look worse in a lot of cases than if you were to just watch that 1080p Blu-ray. And at this point, pretty much every TV is 4K. Like it's pretty difficult to go out there and buy a 1080p only TV, and it's nearly impossible to buy a 720p TV. So I think at this point in time, everyone has the capability. Well, I shouldn't say everyone. Most people have the capability of watching 4K, but maybe not everyone can experience what what else can come with that resolution. Like not just talking about HDR, but like purely bitrate. A lot of people haven't even watched a 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray disc yet, because first of all, they're super expensive if you think about it, versus paying Netflix. What, even now they're like $19 a month.
Yeah.
One movie will probably cost you like 20, 25 minimum
Yeah.
if you don't buy it used. And if you want to buy a brand new movie that just came out, it a lot of movies out here are like 35, $40.
Yep. Yep. But that
But
to
oh, go ahead.
them home theater enthusiasts. Like you a home theater enthusiast.
Mm-hmm.
You gonna get the disc because that's the quality that you want.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a certain preference that you're, like you said a few weeks ago. Listen, this is what I do because it's a certain image quality that I want.
Hmm.
I just want this type of disc. And I think, with everybody, and I'm glad Sean said this. He said that it's been answered, but you see what he said. What about the kind of TV you're watching to be the difference? And yes, I mentioned this earlier, Sean, when someone I know, they had the NVIDIA Shield, they had a Vizio Elevate, which would just get them by, right? And they had an Insignia 55-inch
Excuse
television,
me. Hmm.
and that was like, and believe me, I had a listen. I pretty much had. I can tell you now, I probably got about 6 televisions that are just sitting like we don't use them. Some of them are in my garage, like sitting there. But I done went from Insignia to Toshiba. Insignia, to me, I think that's like give it to your kid. You know what I'm saying? That's like
Yep.
your young kid, put it in the room. They really not into the color or nothing like that. And see me, as you see, like every year I'm trying to elevate. That way I can sit at this table and have a conversation. And so my latest TV is the Hisense, right? Where you see, and I watch so many videos how to calibrate it, when not to calibrate, when you're watching certain films, what mode you want it on. And I think it's an awesome television for that. You know,
Hmm.
I got an LG, I got the TCL, and but my the one that plays the best picture as of right now in my home is that Hisense one. As far as deep as the colors and everything. So yes, television does make a difference because you can have everything else. You can have everything else, but if you're missing your television, don't, or you got some cheap television that the black is gray, the white is dirty white, things
Hmm.
like that.
Hmm.
Things like that, you would notice. And so that's why, look, what I would tell everybody, this is just me. Go to one of your, whether you got a Best Buy that has a home theater with like 3 different rooms where they using that high quality television in there, and they using the sound system as well. ABC Warehouse, some of the uh what's that other? I know we got another one here. I go past it. You barely even see anybody in there though, but you go by it. I cannot remember the name, but those are particular stores that has everything that if you want to see the difference. Matter of fact, if you go up in Best Buy, all right, you go to your lower end televisions, right? That's playing that same 4K playback, and you go to your higher end television. You see it right then and there. You see it right then and there, you know. But like I tell everybody, don't think everything is going to look like that because now we're coming to streaming. And just like Brandon says, everything is being, pushed through. Everything is being bit rate through. We don't have the physical coaxial. We're using, internet IP
Hmm.
to drive it down instead of using that physical coaxial. All right. You remember back in the day, the cable guy used to have to go up to the pole, run the line, run the physical line to the ground block, from the ground block to possible. If you had one television, he'd just go from the ground block right to the television. But now, if you got 2 or 3, you go to the ground block to the splitter, and then you take it from there. And the coaxial picture, to me, when you watching television, and some of y'all still got cable TV in your home, y'all haven't fully cut the cable cord. There is a difference between streaming and having that physical equipment to carry that data across that line. There is a difference, and you could tell right then and there the difference. Really, if y'all got cable TV, which a lot of y'all still have because of y'all locals, and some of these IPTV services, aka right? Uh, Eyebrow Peterson Television. So it is a difference. Is it a deal breaker to some people? No, because you got some of these services that come through the internet that look good. It look just as good as the television, but without that physical line that's carrying that data. There's a difference between that internet and carrying that physical line, connecting it to the device that's converting everything over. At least in my opinion. And I done been on both sides of that fence. So
Um, one thing you keep bringing up things that I'm thinking about that it just keeps bringing stuff up, in that I usually don't really trust what a TV looks like in a store like Best Buy, or well, around me Best Buy is pretty much the only place where you can go in and buy like a TV or a laptop or whatever, because usually the TVs in there are either in store mode, which just means boosting up the brightness, boosting up the colors, all the saturation, or they're going to be in vivid mode. And vivid mode is basically doing the same thing, just to a lesser extent. Um, what I like to do is I look at a lot of ratings from places I trust. And at this point, it's probably, well, it's ratings.com, but they spell their name RTINGS.com. And they review everything from headphones to TVs to whatever. So if I'm looking for a TV, I'll go there, see what people are saying about it. I'll usually go on Amazon and see what the reviews are looking like. But one thing that I've learned, especially now that I've seen a decent amount of TVs, is that pretty much anything below $650 in terms of like the big three, which is Samsung, Sony, and LG, if you get a TV from them that is below that about that 650 line, you will be much better off if you were to just go with something like a TCL or a Hisense, because a TCL and Hisense have been on just a massive path of growth forever, because they're trying to make the best looking and sounding TVs that they can for the cheapest price. Now, if we're going above 650 and we're talking about like some higher end or top of the line TVs, then yes, like an LG OLED is going to look a decent amount better than the highest end, like Hisense or TCL. But the entry, the like the mid level OLED from LG, the C3 now is something like $2,000 at the 65-inch level, versus a top of the line TCL at the moment for a 65-inch is on sale constantly for like 950, and it'll look almost as good as that OLED for literally half the price. So I feel like everyone loves to see that name brand recognition. Everyone thinks that LG makes the best TVs, or Samsung or Sony. But the fact of the matter is that if you go lower end, if you're going to where a lot of people buy their TVs, they're not trying to spend thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. TCL and Hisense will be your best friends, because if you think about it in a company sense, if I were a Samsung and I'm making the best looking and sounding TVs in the world, why would I want to invest a lot of my money in the super cheap TVs, even though a lot of people are going to buy them? But why would I want to invest a lot of my money there instead of just piling all this money on some of the best panel and audio technologies that we can? Versus where TCL and Hisense are coming from, they're both pretty new to the US market, and they're both Chinese companies. And a lot of Chinese companies are really good bang for your buck companies, whether we're talking about audio, displays, computers, whatever, because they're coming from a place where they have little to no brand recognition. So they can't just come out with a $3,000 TV and expect everyone to go buy it because they don't know you yet. So what they have to do is make the best looking TV for the lowest price and get into the market, which is why we started to see TCL and Hisense come into the public consciousness, like with the TCL 6 series and the Hisense U8 series. So the TV you have, the U8H, and then the newest one is like the U8K. And then, of course, they're coming up with their flagship. But the whole reason why these TVs became so popular is because they are very good deals for the price. And just a quick gem that I want to drop is that the only TV manufacturers that support all HDR formats and all audio formats are Hisense and TCL. They're the only two. Samsung doesn't support Dolby Vision. LG doesn't support HDR10 Plus, and Sony doesn't support HDR10 Plus. But TCL supports everything. It supports Dolby Atmos, DTSX, everything you can throw at that television will play. And so I feel like more credit should be given to those two specific companies just for the really good job they're doing, especially now in the TV market.
Now, me, like I said, I don't know. I'm just getting into the TV market. Uh, Even look, have I saw something way better than the Hisense I had that I have? Absolutely. I think some people are willing for a better experience. Some people are going to spend that too. Look, I don't know. My Best Buys are different. And I got to find a day. I got to find uh the thing about going in the Best Buy. You really don't know what you're going in there and what you're going to hear. Right? Best Buy is one of them places really during the weekend where people are playing audio and things like that. But they have some televisions out there that people look, at least where I'm at. I'm in the burbs, but you got your burbs and you got your higher end burbs. But a lot you know I guess what I'm trying to say when it comes to them, at least the Best Buys I go to, at least the ones that are in those higher up, you know, wealthy areas. It's nothing for me to see people come out of there spending 2,500, 3,000 on the television. Um, but look, I see it. I done been in them studios. I don't know if y'all Best Buys have them, but I got two Best Buys in my area that has the little studios. They even one of my Best Buy, well, the one that they just done. If who was it? Was it? I think it's Hisense. Hisense, was it Hisense? Just released a projector, a high end projector that looks beautiful. Have you heard of this projector that they made?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I heard of it. Let me look it up. They released it alongside their new TVs.
And this one, uh, let me see. I wish I would have took a picture of it. But they had this bad boy. I think is this a laser projector? Let me see how much it
It's laser. Yep.
is laser, right? How much is that bad boy?
Give me a second. L9H. That's what it's called. That's their top of the line laser projector. It's the newest one. The Hisense L9H.
Yup. So if you look up Novi, Michigan, if you look up Novi, Michigan, that's a higher suburb where you got a lot of those 3, 4, 5, 8,000, 10,000 foot square homes. So it's they cater to that community who can afford it compared to going to Best Buy in Westland. Westland is not going to cater to that type of equipment, in that community. So we got in two of the communities, we have two Best Buys that they're gonna put their higher end, and they shut this Best Buy down They shut it down and redone everything inside. It actually looks good. It looks beautiful in there. Man, they had this Hisense laser, the newest one. And when I tell you, at first, right, when you walk in, because it was already playing some movie, right? I think it was playing like one of them John Wicks or something like that. It was playing one of them. And they had it hooked up to the receiver, the sound system. Beautiful. And when I tell you, if you didn't pay attention, you would have thought this was one of them higher end televisions. Because it looked like it was just a receiver and they had the room dark. And the way the light went up, you just saw the light on. You just saw a light that was on. So you thinking maybe this some type of player or whatever. But it was a projector. And the colors, everything about that bad boy was crispy. And so I think depending on, where we stay, like I said, my two closest Best Buy is not going to carry anything like this. In which I understand. I understand because Dearborn is not going to carry this. Westland is not going to carry it. But you would get a community like Novi that would carry this. You would get a community like Rochester Hills, Michigan, that would carry this. They probably not going to carry it in like Madison Heights, things like that, because it's not, they know it would just probably sit. But I think, coming from my background, when I walk up in Best Buy, and this is why I tell everybody, even when I explained this a couple weeks ago, when me and the young lady was talking, she say, "Oh, man, that Sony, oh my goodness, it's a beautiful picture." But I think the television was between $2,000 and $3,000. And I had to explain it to her. I say, look, unless you have that equipment, it is not going to look like that. But the colors, look, the television that she was looking at, them colors was beautiful. But again, I think you had to educate the people, at least if I was there working. Listen, as long as you're watching 4K film or maybe Blu-ray, this, you'll be good. Maybe you watch some Netflix, Amazon, it'll look good. Live TV is not going to look like this. And so I think that's where the education comes in. Your live TV is not going to be in 4K. All right? Your live TV is not going to look, your streaming live TV is not going to look this beautiful, And so that's why I say educating, people, letting them know, because of course they're going to put that image. But again, if you go and look at those images, you could tell your lower end devices compared to your higher end devices. But people just have to know, like, listen, unless you're going to watch movies all day and you got 4K, stuff like that, you're going to be watching 4K, it'll look this beautiful. And go from there. Also, to answer Jeremy, you are absolutely right, because I actually forgot about this, and I had the HD home run. In order for the HD home run, you had to have the equipment though, with the cable cards. For people who don't know what a cable card is, they have discontinued them. But your cable company will let you know. They didn't just come out and advertise cable cards, because you could have saved money. You could have saved money big time on cable cards, because what it did, it ran off of it used the Windows. So if you had an Xbox, basically you turned your Xbox into a cable box, and you had free DVR, with it. So, man, them cable cards, I miss them. They saved you a couple dollars, and that's all you had to do was have like the older Xbox, and you run Windows Media. So I can't remember it all, but as y'all know, I showed y'all the video like some time ago that I did with the HD home run, which was very, very nice. And Jeremy is absolutely correct when it comes to the cable car. That cable car showed a beautiful picture. But again, you have to have the equipment. You had to have the equipment and a coaxial. Like I said earlier, a coaxial ran into that bad boy. So if it came off your splitter or whatever, you had to run a dedicated coaxial from the splitter to that device, and you just take the cable card that was no bigger. It was a little thicker than your credit card, but as far as length, it was about the length or a little bit longer than your cable your cable your credit card, and you just slide that bad boy in. You do the little, I think you had to go in and it tells you, do you want to set up, but everything came through your cable company. And this was one of the first ways that you can eliminate rental fees from your cable. This was one of the first ways you did it. Every television that I had, I went and bought a used Xbox, and it was on each of the televisions. I think we might have had like 3 televisions, but no, maybe 4. 1, 2, 3. I think it was a couple of them downstairs. So, and you can record like 2 or 3 things at the same time. It was very, very nice. But this was the start of replacing the physical cable boxes. This was the first cord cutting device that saved you back in the day from rental fees. Yeah, and that video is still up on YouTube. This is like, man, I think I did this video before the fake Jordan videos. I bullcrap you not. But when I did, I couldn't remember my name. I'm like, I couldn't remember it. And yeah, I think the channel was called Deli Dale or something like that. Deli Dale. If you type in Deli Dale and HD Home Run, it should pop up. But it was very, very nice. So yeah, I agree, Jeremy. You are absolutely right. That was a beautiful, beautiful device that they had, and at the time. And yes, I think I was saving. I still had the cable package back in the late 2000s and stuff like that. But I think I was saving like $9, $10 per television, and you just get one cable card and you plug it in, and what it does, it sends them out to all. So if you had a Windows computer, you could put it on your Windows computer. Any type of Windows device, whether it was a Windows tablet, it worked on a Windows tablet or Xbox devices. So those, either you use your Windows PC, a Windows tablet, which I still have one, an old school Windows tablet, and a matter of fact, with that tablet, I turned that into because my son wanted to, do his homework on the PC in elementary, and I turned that tablet into a desktop, and that's all I did was go and get a monitor, and I don't forget what cable cord, but it went in and turned it into a desktop. It was real sweet though, real sweet with a keyboard. Had to get a hub and everything, but yes, that bad boy was nice. It was nice.
Oh,
Um,
go ahead. Sorry.
no, I'm just looking at these.
I was just gonna say, the new L9H, that Hisense projector you were talking about, is planned on going on sale for $4,500.
Yeah, they got that bad boy right up there, man. I bullcrap you not. They got it up there. Because they got 3 different studios, and I can't remember if it's the second or the third studio. They got that Hisense in there, and they were doing them John Wick. They were playing some John Wick and stuff like that. That sound system, man.
Oh man.
If you haven't been to Best Buy, maybe y'all should Google, if y'all get a chance. Google Best Buy home theater, and when you up in there, just go up in there and listen to some of that quality. I mean, it's pretty nice.
I think they're called Magnolia Centers.
That's what they call it. I don't even know. You could be right.
Let
Uh,
me. Yeah, they're called Magnolia Centers.
yeah, And so they got one right there in Novi. They got one in Rochester Hills, Michigan. That's further north, uh, out that way. But it's real nice. It is very, very nice.
Yeah,
Uh,
they have them in pretty much. If your city is big, they'll probably have one.
well, no, Novi is not that big. It's just that's where the money is at.
I get you. I get you. I,
It,
I just know where I live. I don't live in like a really big city. So like if you go to like the top three cities of my state, they're gonna have pretty much every specialty anything that you want. So like they have like where I live in North Carolina. So the biggest city in terms of population is Charlotte.
okay.
And Charlotte has everything. Like I think they have like three Magnolia centers. I just looked it up. Um, they have like multiple electronic stores. You can get whatever you want in there. Um, but one thing that I think is actually kind of cool about this Hisense projector is that it can either display a 100 inch or a 120 inch display. And if you were to take a similar performing TV at that size, which at this point would be an OLED, so like something from LG or Sony or Samsung, it would cost about $25,000 minimum
Yeah,
if you had that big of a display. But Hisense doing this for 4,500. I mean, if you guys go and just look up the Hisense L9H, it first of all, it supports what am I trying to say? It supports 107% of BT 2020, and all that means is that it can display more colors than are possible in every single HDR standard. So every single color of whatever you put in that thing will look specifically how it's supposed to look, which I think is really awesome. And
yeah,
it comes with uh, built-in 40-watt speakers. So I mean, if you don't have a sound bar, I mean, you might be able to get away with the sound that's built into it.
yeah. And I'll show it to you right quick for anybody that want to see it. It's real nice. It's real. Like I said, and the thing about it, they got this bad boy so close to the wall you're not even paying attention because traditional projectors what sit at the top on top of the ceiling or somebody got it
Mhm.
on a table and it's going out and stuff like this bad boy sits this close to the wall where you like, man, that TV nice, man, them colors. And then when you get over there and look at it and you look at the what you're looking you seeing because with Best Buy they put that bad boy right there. When you're looking at television, you can just look at the name of the device, the television, or whatever they're marketing at that time. But it's pretty nice though. It's really dope. And here it is right here. Here it is right here. And it sits this close, as you see, it sits this close to the wall. You know, and Jeremy say, "Dang, mom still use that AC." I thought they shut it down. Yeah, I thought at least they shut it down. I thought Comcast shut it down. I don't know about Wall or anything like that. I'm gonna have to get with you, Jeremy. But look how close this device is, and it goes. And you think, as you see, you would think, um, like this is just one big television. You would think because they making these 100-inch televisions now, but you really can't tell until you get up on this bad boy. But it looks very crispy. Let me do this. It looks very nice. I'm gonna drop this link in the chat. Y'all can check it out if y'all want. But it is real nice. Also, I saw that Rich, Vincent hit me up what last week or a week and a half ago. Yeah, I'm trying to think. I think Vince did something. I can't remember what Vince did. I can't remember if he donated or something like that. But yeah, Vince hit me up like last week or a week and a half ago. But this is very nice. Check that link out. and you can see it. This is where everything is going. And again, you see how they got their screen, of course, professionally, right? They got, and I'm quite sure people going to be getting this done professionally. And it looks, like I said, you looking at like, man, dang, this TV good. But you only see this light. That is it. It doesn't traditionally press out, you know, like traditional or anything like that. But I mean, this was a bad boy. I'm talking about the colors were beautiful. And inside this Magnolia Center in Best Buy, when you go in there, you shut the doors. And when you shut the doors, the lights go down. And man, that sucker looked good as heck. But like I said, this is not going to be in every Best Buy you go to. All right. It's not going to be in every Best Buy. And I just went and did a store locator. And the closest one to me is Novi. And then they got another, this Southland one, they have one. It's trash, it's old. This one is the new one. This Novi is the new one. And the Southland got one, but it's the older model, you know. But this is the new one right here. And then they got one in Southfield, which is probably old as well, and then Ann Arbor. And then our next one, the closest one, is in Holland, Ohio. You know, that, so that's some distance. That's past Toledo. In my you know, people who are familiar with you know, Ohio. But this bad boy is very, very nice. It's very, 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 very nice. But take a look at that. This is probably going to be the next thing that they're talking about. I'm quite sure they done send this to a lot of YouTube creators who this is their thing right here. This is what they like. This is what they do. But very, very nice. And I couldn't believe. I'm like, damn, that looked good. And they showing John Wick wearing the black suit, doing karate and all that stuff. It's very, very nice. Yup. So, but yeah,
Oh,
there go
go
Vincent.
ahead.
There go Vincent right there, Rich. You know, Vincent always say he be in the background, he just be listening. He be chilling and listening and stuff like that. So, you know, he be working and doing his thing and listening in the background. So,
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
I was just gonna say. I was just thinking about it. It would be a lot easier to ship a projector than a TV because you don't have to ship an entire like fragile display with it. You could just pack the projector in like a box because most people, if the projector doesn't come with a screen, they're just gonna go out and buy a screen for the projector. And so that might actually be a lot easier in terms of just pure logistics, in terms of people getting the best of the best in terms of display technology. Because I've personally experienced, and I've heard countless stories of people getting really expensive TVs, especially the big ones, and then they get delivered and then they're broken, and then you have to, lug that huge TV back to whatever store it is and then get it replaced. But another thing is, I just looked up what most reviewers think is the best performing traditional television. And at this moment, it looks like it's the Samsung S95C OLED, which is basically, well, it would be their newest top of the line OLED. Um, and it looks pretty decent for how much it is. 65-inch starts off at $3,300, so it should be good for what it is.
Yeah.
Um,
Hey Russ,
Dang, it's
when I
expensive.
yeah, that is very expensive. Hey Russ, when I went into the room, the doors were open. And the thing about in this new Best Buy that I went into, they got a window. And you know, like you're at a house. And when I tell you them colors, now it got real good, of course, when you in a dark, dark theater. But for these, each one of their new studios that they're showing these displays in, because Best Buy is a bright, you know, because it's white and they got all them lights and everything. So they got the light was shining through, right? But I guess because of how the did I mute you? Oh, you mute yourself. All right, my bad.
Oh yeah,
Um,
I muted myself. I'm sorry.
I was about to say, damn, did I mute you? Um, I guess because of how it was, it's not traditional. It's not traditional where some of the older projectors, you had to have it real dark. But over time, they got better with the projectors. People used to think you had to have like a white wall. But shoot, at my older house, we were watching projector on a brown wall during the daytime. But of course, the blinds and stuff had to be closed. But it just shows you where technology. With this right here, by it being so close and it's just putting your image up, you could be in a light room. Because when we went in this room, the light was still coming through. But I think they wanted to put that display to show you don't have to have it's meant for daytime television as well. And so you know, but again, it's going to cost, and then go from there. But the picture, like I said, of this one, of this laser projector, yeah, this was a beautiful, beautiful sight. And again, when they got that unit, it was like that unit was like right here against the wall. And that's how close it was. And it just pushed the image up on your wall. But of course, these people right here, they got it professionally done. I'm quite sure they did some measurements and stuff like that and made sure everything was level and all that to make it actually fit, the
They probably. Oh,
bezels.
go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, just fit the bezels of that wall unit.
I was just gonna say they probably did it themselves because Hisense. I looked it up. They make everything you would ever need for a projector. They make some of the best screens you can ever buy for projectors. They make currently what most people believe to be the best projector that exists in the consumer market. So I think that's crazy. Like one company is just out here with their hands in a lot of pots. Like, Hisense just announced at CES this year they're coming out with their first like big boy TV, the Hisense UX. So like they're going to try to compete with the top of the top and not really care about price. And I'm excited to see what that's going to look like.
Hmm. Yeah, so it's crazy. It is very, very crazy. What we got? We got how long we been going? 1:30. We'll go like another 15 minutes. Vincent just chimed in. He said, let him in. So I'm gonna put this link back out there. But again, like I say, if my money ever become right, then yeah, if my money ever become right, I want to do like I think what's his name, tech enthusiast or enthusiasm. I want to get a shed and build my own home theater outside of my home. I'm telling you, man, y'all got to go and look at some of this stuff that these guys be doing. As you know, Vincent built his own, home theater in his house. Uh, I want to be able to build one outside. I mean, if I can build one in here, I want the kids gone, you know. But I do want to build because then I won't have to worry about my wife complaining, turn that down and stuff like that. I could be out there in the backyard, everything set up, and then go from there. So that's what I would love to do.
You gonna be breaking some windows?
No, they got it. Well, with these sheds, well, I don't know if I'm gonna be breaking the neighbors when they'll probably call the. But I don't know, man. They got it now. Have you saw what these guys are doing? These
Yeah,
guys.
they go crazy.
Oh, I would love that, man. These guys, they doing their own measurements and everything. That's what Vincent did. Vincent built his own home theater with the couch, everything. He went and installed the speakers, the Dolby app. Man, he did everything.
Where I come from, I started off in audio in terms of just like PA systems and stuff, like traditional speakers just for like music and announcements and stuff. And now, most recently, I've found that as long as I have a TV that can do like it can give me like a 7.5 out of 10 on most things, I'm pretty satisfied. I'm most picky when it comes to audio. So while someone like Vincent is like big into like creating whole rooms and Dolby Atmos and all this stuff, I'm big into more portable versions of that. Like if I can put on a set of headphones that aren't too expensive and just like basically go in my own world with something that maybe like you can spend a lot less than $1,000 and get a wonderful pair of headphones that'll just blow your mind at that point.
Oh man, listen, give me the home theater, uh, like Vincent did, because when I want to, hey, and first of all, I just read up out there, hey, my condolences, Vincent. My condolences, man.
Thank you, my brother.
You know, I was just reading. I was like, what the heck?
Yeah, I've been missing. I know I've been missing for a while.
Yeah. Rich asked about. He was like, you heard from Vincent? I'm like, yeah, Vincent hit me up. I think he sent me a something he did. I don't know if it was
Yeah, I sent you something for Chris the other
oh,
day.
Chris. Yeah, that's why I was like, hold up. Yeah, he sent something.
Yeah. My dad. My dad's been sick, and I've been doing home hospice with him for last couple months. So he passed
Oh,
away. He passed away last Sunday. So
wow, man. My
no
condolences.
more pain. No more pain.
Yeah, my condolences, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now,
but I heard you talking. I have the Hisense PX One Pro.
okay.
I bought that last year. I got rid of my 75-inch TV and bought the 100-inch screen. That's the one that'll fit. It's incredible. Now they have a couple of them. They have the LG 9. Um, that was last year's model. I think they just came out with a new one this year. The old ones came with a screen that you can only get the screen on a certain size. The new ones that they're coming out, you can essentially get whatever screen that you want, and these screens are expensive. And because of the yeah, that's the one I have.
Now,
It's
is this the one that's closest to your? You could just push it close to the
yes,
wall.
yeah. I built a shelf for it, and with all my other components to put
Okay.
on it. Yeah, it sits probably about 8 inches from
Okay.
the wall, and it shoots up.
Yeah, it shoots
Um,
up. Yeah.
so you have to have ASR screen that blocks the light from the top. Um,
Okay.
I know somebody asked, do you have to have lights on? No. With this, you don't have to have the lights off. But when the lights are off, oh my gosh, the screen is beautiful. It is absolutely beautiful.
And so, have you played any game, or you just use this strictly for movie?
No, that I mean it's essentially it's a laser television, just like they said. Um, it's a television. It looks just like a television. It doesn't look like your traditional um, projector. It's a television. I have my PlayStation 5 hooked up to it.
Okay.
I have my Sapedi hooked up to it. Of course, I have my Marantz hook up to it. I have all that stuff hooked up to it, and and it's just like a television. It looks just like a television. The blacks look. I mean, it's incredible.
Yeah.
It really does a really good job. I have my Apple TV hooked up to it, NVIDIA Shield, so I have everything hooked up to it
Okay.
through my Marantz, and it's nice. I mean, it's very very nice.
Yeah. And that's what I was saying. Even when I went to Best Buy and they had that other Hisense, that new one. Man, I walked up in there. I'm like, and it looked like it's to me. It looked like it's a big TV.
It does. That's why.
It off
That's
the
what they
wall.
advertise it as, laser television. They advertise it as laser television, and the good thing about these is you can get it. You know, if you have a bigger space. My space is not as big, so I 100-inch is the max that I could put where I built my theater. Um, and so it was good to that I could just get that, and I just ordered a screen from Volvo, um, nice screen, and of course they come with, some of them come with the screen, but I bought one that I liked a little bit better. That's why I bought this particular projector,
Yeah,
because it didn't come with a screen, and you bought your own screen. I think I paid. It was on sale for maybe $3,200 when I bought it
yeah.
originally.
I wonder what the price is now. Let me see. Wonder what the price is right now. Let me see something.
Currently on sale at Best Buy for $3,000.
Yeah,
Man, and that's why I say,
Ooh,
man, I yeah,
it
man,
looks nice.
oh, it's beautiful. I mean, it's it, it's a nice system, and that's probably what I got it for. I think it was $3,500 was the original price, and um, I got it when I bought it last year. It's nice. I mean, I did all my research, and at the time they said that was the one to buy.
man. I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah,
You can get it on it. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
yeah, it's nice. I mean, again, it looks just like. I wish I could show it, uh, but it looks just like a television.
Shoot,
The cheapest I found it is 2,700 on Amazon.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I saw
Yeah,
it.
it's got two HDMI ends. One I use dedicated for the PS5, and the other one I use for the rest of my components.
So you say it got two HDMI ins or outs?
Ends.
Is this it? Because I see the E arc. That's out.
Yeah.
What is on another side?
No, there's another one right there next to it.
Hold on. Let me
Two
look.
HDMI's.
Yeah, I see two HDMI. One is HDMI two, and then
Right.
so you can go in right here and then come out on.
No, this is you can hook like a PlayStation. If you want to get 120 hertz, you want to go directly into the PlayStation through the the projector and not go through the receiver. That way you don't get the latency. You get low latency,
Okay.
and then you can hook your receiver up to the other one, and then everything else can go through there. My Zapati, uh, my Apple TV, and my Shield.
Mm, man, that's yeah. They said, man, that's why I was like, man, when I went up in there, I was like, what the heck? It looked like you can go up in there and in that little studio room, it looked like somebody, the way they had it, like somebody went up in there with the television, leveled everything off,
Mm-hmm.
and the bezels that they had hooked up on the screen, it looked like a real television.
Yeah, I mean it does. It literally looks like a TV. Yeah, I mean literally it looks like a television.
I,
If you didn't know, especially turn lights out and you watch a movie, and then I have, of course, around the screen, I have my lights going around, ambient lights going around the screen. It looks like you're watching television. It looks better than a regular projector.
yeah. Hey, look, I went in there. I was like, what the heck? And I went over, and when you go up in Best Buy, they got the little advertisement card right there, and you looking at, you just know it is about to say 100-inch television, right? And you
Mm.
look down, it was like projector, Hisense projector. I'm like, the heck, this is a projector?
Yeah, it's not your traditional uh, projector. And the reason I started looking at these, I know probably Dell, you probably 2 years ago, you showed a little round projector. I forget the name of it. That I started looking at because like with my basement, because my ceilings aren't very high, I I can't put one in the back, a traditional projector. So I started looking at these ultra short throws because, like I said, I bought a TV a couple of years ago. I bought a 75-inch Sony, and it was okay, but it really wasn't what I wanted.
Yeah.
When I started building out my theater. So I hate to say it, my wife had surgery last year, and during the surgery, I bought all this stuff and told her that she couldn't come down. She couldn't go down up and down the steps. So I built and everything. And my son's like, "What the heck did you just buy?" So I kind of built it out, and like I mean, like I said, it probably cost me about $3,000 for everything with the screen and the projector. Probably about $3,800 for everything. Um, but it's what I wanted, so I was satisfied. So now my um, screen is from almost from wall to wall, and I actually had to get some new speakers too. I got some KEF speakers that I put on the wall. I'm loving life right now.
Yes, you are. That's why I say, man, if my money get good, man, I want to build like what you did, but I want one of them sheds like what his name? Tech Enthusiasm or
Oh
something.
no, his is not in the shed. His is in his basement.
Which one is got
Somebody did build one on YouTube in a shed.
in the shed?
It
Yeah.
was it wasn't tech enthusiasm. No,
Okay.
he no, that dude is he spends a lot of money.
Yeah. That's what I want, man. I want to be able to, cause like I said, she be
Rich, if you're trying to talk, I don't hear anything.
yeah, Rich always have audio problems.
Hey,
What
show
up?
enough.
What up, though, LJ?
What's up, guys? How y'all doing?
Hey, no, LJ.
I see you must be looking at something, huh, LJ?
Yeah, I had my treatment today. Ain't feeling too good, but
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm doing okay.
You
It's,
doing all right?
yeah,
Prayers out to you, my brother. Look, after what I've been through for the last couple months, anybody who is helping out their family members, uh, being a caregiver, that's a tough job.
yeah.
That's a tough job.
Dale and I,
People going through the struggle, that's sick, that's tough. I've seen it firsthand. I praise those people in hospice, but when you're at home taking care of them, it's you're the kid, but you become the parent all over again.
that's true.
Pray my prayers out to you, sure enough. Hopefully everything works out for you.
It will.
Yeah, Dale and I had a conversation just the other day for a few hours. We were talking about that very same thing.
Yeah, it's tough. Like you always say, tell somebody you love them today.
Hey, bro, you never
Tomorrow's
know.
not promised.
I mean, you just take my situation that you know, I was a caregiver. You never thought that I would find myself in a position that I am. I'm still a caregiver,
Right.
but you never know, man.
Yeah.
Never
You
know.
don't. And as we get older, these things happen.
Oh yeah,
The older you get, the more it starts to happen. And then come to find out today, my mother-in-law now has cancer. I lost my father-in-law last August. It's crazy.
it's crazy, isn't it?
It is.
Right.
It is. But as you say, all you can do is love on your people while you see them, while they're here, give them flowers.
That's right.
Thanks. Yeah. You sure this ain't your room right here, Vincent?
No, that's I see that light, those walls. I mean, those windows in the back.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's similar to that. Although I don't have a bezel like that. My bezel is non-existent.
Oh yeah, your
It's
bezel.
almost like
Oh, it's
my
super thin.
yeah.
It's
It's
okay.
almost like the TV is coming out of the wall. Yeah.
Yeah, because he got a thin one. His bezel was real.
Right. Right.
His is real.
Yeah, it's nice. I'll put it. And I've been I know I said I was going to put a lot of that stuff on the Facebook page, but I've just been busy the last couple months. I haven't had a chance. But I'll spec it out and show it to you.
Yeah, man.
You know,
I can't wait.
I'm constantly tinkering.
Hey, man, this would be getting me going. You know, like stuff like this, just turning. Like I said, man, as soon as the kids get up out of here.
That's what I did when my son left. It was like, okay, I can spend. I can do stuff for me now.
Yeah. Once this college and all this stuff is out of the way.
See, I've been there, done that. You just getting started. You better save your money right now. I'm telling you.
Yeah, you better get ready.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah. So, because look, now,
I had to change devices.
Your son get a scholarship?
Yeah.
Okay. So even though he has a scholarship, there's still needs.
Yeah.
Oh man, hey, look, my boy told me his daughter full ride scholarship. That cat said like a month, it wasn't nothing for him to send like $1,000 up there, sometimes $1,400.
Oh, you're gonna be doing that easy.
Mine play baseball and they get per diem. Like when I was in college, their per diem is a whole lot more than what it was when I was in college. But it's still expensive.
Yeah.
So this is the kind of stuff you do once you become empty nesters like we are.
Yeah, man. I just want that experience, man, and then invite like my family, friends over for a good movie night.
Right.
And I want a little miniature bar. Like I said, man, it's so many guys that on YouTube they done turn. I just thought it was. I don't know why I thought it was tech, but
no, that's not tech enthusiasm. His is in his basement.
Yeah, it's another guy. He took the Apple TV out to his.
Right.
I thought it was.
But Tech is a big Apple guy. He likes the Apple television.
Okay.
He used that for everything. Darlene, you're absolutely correct. Right. I give you praise for being a caregiver.
The other person I know who has a home theater in the shed, I think it is Elon Osborne.
Yeah, I mean that shed is nice, and he showed how he built it.
Yeah,
it's very nice.
Yeah.
I mean, if you go on YouTube, but people have built them in their attics. They built them all over. That's where I got mine from. Is looking at watching people on there, and I'm like, I can do this myself.
Yeah.
So Delhi, you can look up Elon Osborne.
Yeah, I can't remember who it was. I thought it was Tech because maybe he was the guy for the Apple, and I looked at somebody.
Yeah, Tech's a big Apple guy.
Yeah,
but man, he has a lot of high end stuff. He has one of the kaleidoscopes as well.
Yeah, he do.
Yeah,
he definitely do.
He buys the processors, man. Those processors are $6,000, $7,000, $8,000, $10,000. He's an engineer by trade.
Yeah,
so, can you let it turn off?
He has the disposable income to put on that stuff. But a lot of those guys, they trade in with other people, sell what they all have and sell their old stuff, and get what they want. I'm more of a practical guy. I try to figure out what I want, and I'll keep it for a while.
Hey, Vince.
You
talking about processors let the turn off?
Yeah. Yeah, he has a turn off. He was I think he was getting ready to I think he was borrowing somebody's and he was getting ready to buy one himself.
Vincent, before I go, I have a message for you. It was in the chat. Okay. Someone got on me because I didn't tell you that. Said when I come on here to tell you, you need some WD-40 for that chair.
Oh my! My chair's not making any noise.
The Soul Bro was messing with you. I don't know who it was, but
mine is not making. Look, I'm sweating up. Mine is not making any noise.
Wait. Lay back a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there it is. There it is.
Soul Bro, I got him.
Soul Bro said that. But hey, guys, look, I'm gonna call it a night.
I ain't sure enough, my
brother.
brother.
Staying here with my brother while he was on and everything, but
yeah. I'm about to get up out of here too, because my boy's about to come on, man. So I got my chicken upstairs.
I definitely, I'm gonna turn the TV off
because
I don't want to hear you in the chat and all that, man. I don't want about that.
As long as AD.
No, this game 4, so we're gonna get y'all tonight.
Listen, long as AD do what he's supposed to do, hey, it's
Well, he gonna do what he's supposed to do, and what he's supposed to do is
even if they make it through this year, he gonna fall short somewhere.
right.
He give you 40, that he ain't gonna play well the
So they're
next.
gonna wear LeBron out tonight.
Nah, they're gonna have to talk to the refs.
Well, that's what's been keeping them going.
I was messing with Dale and Tech in the chat.
That's what's been keeping them going this whole time.
Hey, look, I ignore it. Hey, look, I saw a few of the messages. I say, not today.
He said he actually came back. I kept messing with him. He finally came back and said, "You gonna cut that BS out today?"
Yeah, man. I was like, oh no. Because look, what LJ does, like he know I'm a big LeBron fan.
Right.
So look, I was down here showing shoes, and we on the live chat. And man, this cat was like, "Oh man, he ain't no GOAT." And I'm like,
he's messing with you.
And him and Real, I'm like, man, he is the GOAT, you know.
That man ain't no. You call him a GOAT, but he ain't no GOAT.
Michael Jordan.
The GOAT. Let me tell you. I'm gonna tell you. You won't admit it. No. But the man is a GOAT, and you know how he.
He done drowned you out, LJ.
We ain't got time for you, LJ. We ain't got time for that. Don't you come? Look at it. He tried to get me started.
Y'all want to know who the GOAT is? The GOAT is the man that started a whole culture. All you got to do is look at SUPERDELL and look behind him.
Look behind him, right?
Look behind him.
You're right. He's telling the truth.
Without the real GOAT,
he's telling the truth. Liddell.
Without the real GOAT, you wouldn't have that.
Let me ask you this question because I'm not a LeBron fan.
I love LeBron.
What's wrong with being number two?
What you mean? What's wrong with being number two? Like Jay-Z say, he say, "Hey, look, what did Jay-Z say? Number one, of course, because number two is the first loser." So you, of course.
But you're not a loser. He's the second. What happened? What's wrong with being the second best player ever?
Hey, there's nothing wrong with it, but to me, I just think he. Look, don't get me wrong. Jordan was a killer on that court, not the mic, but the court. But I just think what LeBron has done, the expectations, that was on his back.
He lived up to him. I agree.
He definitely lived up.
He lived up to him, but he's not Jordan.
Hey,
the GOAT created what's behind you.
Think about it. Think about it. Now,
Jordan,
again. I'm not a LeBron hater, but every team that he's gone to, it was a ready-made team.
No, I disagree with that.
Look, on that note, I'm getting out.
You don't disagree with that?
Agree with that,
Vince. Okay. I know where this is going.
So when he went to Miami, that wasn't ready-made.
You said every team.
Every team, except for the Lakers.
No, because when he went back to Cavaliers,
look at what he did. Okay,
but he went to the Lakers because he went to the Lakers because he know AD was coming and stuff.
Right.
But
he went back to Cleveland because what? Kyrie was there, and he had to have Love come in.
But you remember with Kyrie, it wasn't like they was a losing program.
They didn't have anybody but Kyrie. That's my point.
But they only won like 19 games.
That's my point.
That's what he's saying is that they needed him to get it over.
So when LeBron come to your team, your value of your team go up, the market goes up.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, it does.
That's why Michael Jordan went to the Wizards.
Yeah, that's why Jordan is a billionaire.
Right down the street from me.
Hey, listen, but the thing is, don't get it twisted. Now it ain't like Jordan didn't have no Hall of Famers on the right hand and the left side of him as well.
Oh yeah, but
they did some good drafting and trading.
But it came organically.
Yeah, I mean, but it's a different
management.
It came organically.
It's a different time.
Again, LeBron dictates. He dictates.
Yeah, because it's got in the NFL is trying to do that right now. You see it with Jackson as the quarterback. They're trying to get that leverage that the NBA wind up getting, and where that the players actually control the league.
Right, that's what they did because
the contracts and stuff. And that's what they're trying to do in the NFL.
I'm saying, if he don't want to be here, send him on his way.
But here it is though. But this guy, I mean, everything he done, man. I mean, far as number wise, you know, you just got some guys. Hey, man, they going for the kill. They gonna step on your neck. But you gonna have some guys. Look, they gonna try to do everything the correct way.
And he has. He
long-
makes the right plays. People criticize him for making the right plays.
He
Yeah.
does, but
That's because his IQ is above
yeah.
everybody else.
I just boiled it down. If it was going to be the last shot, I'm giving the ball to Jordan before I
Oh
give it to
yeah,
LeBron.
anytime.
But he gave it up once. He gave it up once or twice too.
Yeah,
No, I'm just
once
saying
or
if I had to make that, which come
But
out,
once or twice.
yeah.
But majority of the time, he did it himself.
Now, the most famous shot that we remember what Jordan made against the Jazz, in today's that's an offensive foul. That's offensive. Definitely, we pushed off with the arm when they reached out.
They wouldn't call it right now.
Oh, but too,
They didn't call it. They didn't call it last night.
LJ Jordan would score about 60 points a game too.
Oh yeah.
Because if you touch him, it's a foul.
Yeah.
Well, it's the same thing, man. I mean, I want a commissioner to come in and just really change some of the things we have that's going on with basketball. Because what I think is taken away from basketball is you get a guy that's driving to the hoop, got a short 2 punch. He gives it up and throws it out for a guy to shoot a 3. I thought it was all about percentages to win the game. So you're saying that we're gonna live and die by this, but it ain't basketball. You're running a pick. You're running a pick and roll, and the guy that's picking is always moving. He's in motion. James Harden, a foul is when a guy touches you, I guess. Okay, when you see, let's say, touches you in a certain way. Okay, he initiates the contact, but the offensive guy with the ball in his hand can jump into your chest and throw the ball up, and it's a defensive foul. It's all about scoring. It's all about, and scoring is what makes the game exciting. That's what they're doing. We got more acting than anything. The only person that don't be acting a lot is Anthony Davis, because he's Mr. Glass. Every time he hits the floor, something's gonna hurt.
Yeah, you gonna sit back and be like, oh shoot,
man,
is he gonna get up?
You watch LeBron post someone up and give him a shoulder and damn near knock him 20 yards.
Yep.
But go down on the other end and he's playing defense and you pass by him and touch him, he fall into the second row.
Yep.
It's just too much of acting, man. I'm like, look, play through the shot, because it seems like now in basketball, they are more of trying to draw the foul and make the shot. And a lot of times the shot that they're taking, they could make them, but there's too much into trying to draw the foul.
Right. I agree.
That's the only thing that gets me with that. But on that, brother Dale,
I don't care what you say, LJ and Vincent.
Mm-hmm.
GOAT is GOAT James. And look, I come on here just like Shannon Sharp. I'm gonna go on Amazon and order me one of them GOAT masks. I'm gonna get my LeBron shoes, and I'm gonna just sit up here for an hour and not say nothing.
Right.
I agree with you, Parker. Larry Bird, that last shot, Larry Bird was a shooter.
Yep.
And as much as people love Magic Johnson couldn't shoot.
A bit.
He couldn't shoot.
But he could control the game.
He can control the game. He could take the game and take it over.
Control the game.
And he played all positions.
Yep.
Remember when they played Boston Championship, he wound up playing center.
No, he played my Sixers with beat Dr. J.
Oh, I remember the hook shot on.
Kareem got hurt.
Yeah, and when they played Boston, when he made the hook shot,
yep.
Came across and made the hook shot. He played all of them. Bird wasn't nothing nice.
Right.
Bird wasn't nothing nice.
I think this guy. Look, I'm gonna tell you like this. Culturally, as far as shoes, yeah, Jordan. He definitely changed the game. Over the past 10 years, yes, that brand. No, the last 15 years, the brand done took a whole nother atmosphere, because it's more young kids coming up, compared to like when we were young. Like you saw a few pair of Jordans, but not like it is now. It ain't not like going to the mall and at least 80% of the people that walking through the mall got on some type of Jordan, whether it's Team Jordan or Retro Jordan. You see Jordans more than anything.
Yeah.
And culturally,
I've never had a pair.
You never had a pair?
I've never had a pair. I've never owned a pair of Jordans. I bought a bunch of them before my child, but me myself, I've never owned a pair.
Yeah,
And it's funny because I was no more of a fan of Jordan than I am of LeBron James. I thought they was, they played great ball, but I wasn't a big fan, like, So I'm not hating on on your guy at all.
Right.
I'm
But
just
but those Jordan, they take I mean, those LeBron fans take offense.
yeah.
It's
Well,
like
look, when you think about
it's
it,
like you're
man.
saying he a scrub or something.
Yeah, when you think about it, is the tennis shoes is the new dress shoes.
yeah. The
I
ones,
mean,
the
yeah,
ones,
yeah.
the
I
Air
went to
Force.
a formal party, a party that was a formal about 3 months ago that was sneakers.
Yeah.
What,
So
you know who made them kind of popular, right?
Hmm.
You know who used to wear the suits? This is the first person I saw with the suits with the Jordans on. That was Will Smith.
Are you gonna say Will Smith?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Fresh Prince of Bel Air. He was
yeah,
the
yeah.
only one that you would see with a tuxedo on with some Jordan ones. But now you see it more like people go to proms with these
oh
on.
yeah,
They,
everybody,
you know,
everybody.
these shoes right here are the most versatile shoes that you can wear with a suit.
Yeah, and now now that they have every color scheme imaginable, you
Yup,
know, originally it was just because I used to work in Foot Locker when I was in college when they first came out, and they were
the
the
black and red or
black
the
and red or
and
the black or the white, black and red. That was
yup,
it.
that was
That
it.
was it.
And
That
you
was
know
it.
what?
And then he got in trouble for wearing just the black and red ones. He would get fined because you had to wear white in the sneakers back then. Now I guess I'm telling my age and now.
Well, I'm gonna tell you what he finally caught on because you had these other replicas. They were creating the Jordan ones, and they started changing the colors.
Right.
These wasn't officially Nike. People was like, "Shoot, I'm gonna go with these replicas because I got more. I got a more variety." And
Right.
he said, "Man, we losing too much money to this.
Hmm.
These guys is going to these replicas. We better change. We better get on our get off that horse."
but
And that's when they started switching it up.
yeah, but you do realize that when you look at Michael Jordan's and a whole his contract with Nike, you do realize that he gets a percentage off of every Nike pair that's sold,
Right.
not just the shoes, every Nike apparel.
Uh, so I mean,
So LeBron and them are selling, and all of them are spending. He gets a percentage.
well,
Right.
he deservingly do.
That's the contract that was the hiccup with Kobe Bryant. That's what Kobe wanted, and that's what Kobe was wanted with them.
Well, Charles Barkley. Did you see that clip? What Charles Barkley said? He said Jordan gave him the best advice ever. He said instead of you taking that 50 million, get the stock.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, get the stock instead. And shoot, Barkley said he's still eating good off of Nike.
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
and
Those guys,
that's
they signed them lifetime contracts.
yeah, and that's what Shaq does with all the commercials and everything he does.
Yep.
He's not doing a commercial unless he can get part ownership or part
Ownership.
something in them.
He's smart.
He
He's
has to
smart.
get stock or something in the company,
Right. He's smart.
which is a smart thing.
Yup.
So my man Brandon, I see you. You on here with the Doom stuff. And
The hell I'm gone, you guys.
Sorry,
Love you
though.
guys. Sorry
all
to
right,
cut y'all
LJ.
off.
All right, LJ.
Take
That's
care.
All
LJ.
right, sure enough. Take care.
Hey, brother, it was good talking to you all.
Okay.
Yeah, man, take care, sure enough.
Thank you, brother.
Okay. What do you think about the Zapiti?
Um,
Because the Dune and the Zapiti have basically it's the same machine.
I think it's like this, right? Zadu, I feel like opened up what the whole, what do you call it? I feel like Zadu opened up the whole home theater. Well, not home theater. Like, okay, Zadu opened up people being able to buy boxes that can play every media. Yeah, that's what
Media
it's called.
library, right?
Yeah,
Media library.
Zadu. I feel like Zadu opened that up to the wider market, and at this point, I feel like they're going to end up being the most popular if they aren't already, just because the barrier to entry is so low when it comes to the Zadu. The Z9X is what, like $229 versus the cheapest Zapedi is what, I think it's like $1,700-$1,800.
Well, they don't. They
And
used to make the 4K player, which you can't get anymore. That was 220. That was an introductory. I know I have the Neo, which is $900. But yeah, a lot of those have gone to, and I think the Zadu has done a thing with the 10,000 or 1,000 or something like that.
mhm,
They've upgraded everything with the introductory of Dolby Digital,
mhm.
because, and I think Dune still now makes a entry level one, that the other ones don't anymore.
I like people being able to choose.
Right.
And for oh, go ahead, sorry.
No, I'm agreeing with you.
I was just saying, I personally go with my Zadu just because their personal track record with me has been really decent. When I email them, they always reply within a day or two. They always listen to their customers, whether it's on the forum or just emailing them, and they're constantly updating and upgrading their stuff to the point where it's like Dale can say this, like the whole weather thing, it'll probably break in the next update or whatever, because that's just like it's a new thing at this point. But if you take what the Zadu has, like from their bottom of the line to the top, pretty much their entire line uses the exact same chips. I believe the Zapedi uses the same chips as the Zadu, and
They do.
pretty much all of the Dune ones use the same chip. So
They do. All of them
effectively,
are identical.
which it to me that seems a bit, I don't know, like if I can spend $229 and just plug up a hard drive, and I can effectively have a very similar, if not the exact same audio and video performance, there's little reason for me to spend literally like 5, 6, 7, 8 times as much money
Mhm.
just to get more features. Like the top of the lines to do, the most what you call it, the the best feature of that makes sense to me is XLR, because XLR can in a lot of cases give you better audio quality than just
Correct.
HDMI. But we're
Correct.
talking about something that is $1,400 versus 229 all the way up to even like the one just below it, which is the Z1000 Pro, which is what, like 450. If you're going from 450 to what did I say, 1100, whatever the price is, I don't remember, but it just doesn't really seem that worth it to me, because you're at the end of the day, you're just trying to watch movies and TV shows. So why do you need to spend that amount of money when you could spend that exact same amount of money on something like upgrading speakers or upgrading your display or something that will actually improve or change your experience?
Right. Well, I know for me, and I can't speak for me because this is a conversation that Dell and I had years ago about the Shield. Um, that stuff is important to some people, like your audio, video, depending upon if you have a higher um, grade of audio, you want stuff that's going to drive it. Now, I could tell the difference between watching my 4K Zapedi and watching my Neo. There is a huge difference. I mean, like with the and I watched the my the 4K one. That's the 200 introductory one. I use that with my iSense 7U.
Mhm.
I think Dale, did you get the 8? You got the 8. Did you get this 85?
What's that?
Your Hisense.
No, I actually got the 65.
Okay.
I got the 65, but I'm waiting on that. You know, I got what? Since I'm a total tech, I got 60 days to take it back.
That's a great television, by the way.
Yeah.
That is a awesome television that rivals the those OLED TVs.
Yeah.
And Hisense makes a very good television. So I use my 4K on my 7U, and then I use my Neo Zapidi on my home theater in my basement. And there's a huge difference. And now, yes, the Marantz, using a Marantz as a processor is a big difference than using my my little Vizio in my bedroom. But even when the 4K was in the basement before I got the Neo, there's a difference. The processing, especially for audio, it's a huge difference. The video is the video. I mean, and I think processing it is. I think I get a lot more out of the Neo as well than I do with the 4K.
Well, I can see where you're coming from. It's not like it's not like you're just spending money to spend money at that point. But to me, the most important thing to me is value for money. And I personally think if I can spend $230 and get 4K every HDR format, support everything that Dolby Atmos can give you, support everything that DTS can give you, I feel like that is a better value than having like an incremental upgrade to something where because it's not like we're going from like 200 to 400 to 600. We're going from like 200 to like 1,000, and then if you want to go above that, like you can go crazy and get like Kaleidoscape or something like that for like 7,000. So it would make more sense to me if it was like more incremental and it wasn't so stretched out like it is. So at this point, for me, I am more than happy with right now I have the Xenon X. I'm waiting for the Xenon X Pro and the Z20 Pro to come out. And then after that, they're probably going to come out with like a Z2000. And I know they're going to upgrade their top of the line. It's probably going to be like the UHD 4000 or whatever. But yeah, I just like Zadu as a company, and I also like their products. And one thing that's also really important to me that I've seen with the Zapidi that I don't think you can get rid of is that it has to you have to have an account with it. Like it can't.
That's what I hate with it.
Yeah,
like I don't.
That's the people that don't like it. That's what they don't like about it. But
that's what I don't like about it.
It's actually a backup it protects you. If you really look at it, it's so that you can't get hacked. But the people who don't like it, that's the main thing. But I think I love it, and you're right, because I know the lower end 4K one, I can't get Dolby Digital, the HR10, the plug. Well, I don't have a Samsung TV, so all that stuff, it really doesn't matter. You have to get the upper levels in order, and now their cheapest is $900 where it was $200. But they said they were gonna make some new ones. I think somebody is investing in the company in Zapidi. That's what I'm being told.
Yeah, but you see, the thing about Zero is that you can get everything you want at a low price point. Every format you can play, whether it's audio or video, at a low price point, and that's good.
Yeah, that is. I mean, if that's what you like, yes.
For you to get Dolby Vision on a Zapidi, you have to buy something on the high end.
Yeah, you have to. It starts at the higher end.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, I just love competition because competition
makes
usually. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I say, yeah, no, competition makes everybody better.
Yeah.
It usually produces both cheaper prices and higher value products. I mean, you can just look at what Hisense and TCL are doing. They're building a ton of market share, especially in the United States,
Yeah.
and they're actually starting to compete with the big three.
They're,
And
I think Hisense is now number 2
which
in
is crazy.
in the television worldwide in the television industry. They're number 2.
That's so crazy to think about because if you were to take like go back 10 years, Hisense was barely known about.
Right.
Because both Hisense and TCL are both Chinese companies that just came in. I believe they both started on the entry level when they came into the United States, and then they just kept improving over and over and over again. And now we're to the point where I'm really excited about this new Hisense TV that's about to come out. It's supposed to be the
Oh
best
yeah,
TV they've ever made,
yeah.
and it's like if
Big-
y'all are already oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I'm
You're
saying
talking about
it's
UX?
expensive too.
Yeah, I was talking about the Hisense UX, but
Yes.
Yeah.
the reason
That,
the reason
that
why
one
I'm
is going
so
to be expensive. Though. That one is going to be expensive. That's going to be over $2,000.
but one thing I will say though is if they're already competing with OLEDs at this price point, once they go up to this $2,000 price point, it's like it has to be crazy. Like it has to be insane because they're already competing with the best that a lot of these companies are coming out with. So if they're
Yeah.
actually being like, we're not afraid to price it at what it's worth, then it'll have to be crazy. And I already enjoy Hisense and TCL because they both support HDR10 plus, which doesn't really matter to a lot of people, but it matters to me because my TCL in the living room supports every single HDR format that exists now. And I understand the bureaucracy, like Samsung doesn't want to pay Dolby for Dolby Vision and LG doesn't like all
Right.
that, like, but that's them. That's their company thing. I'm a
Right.
customer.
That's
So
their philosophy, right? That's their company
if
philosophy.
I love having the choice to do what I want to do with my TV, my audio, my movies, my everything. And for TCL to come out and say, we're going to make the best TV we can at a really good price point, and we're also going to support every format that we can in HDR. Supports Dolby Atmos in both Dolby Digital Plus and Dolby True HD. Supports every DTS format, and runs off of Android TV at a really fast pace. It's not like it's super slow. Because back in the day, Sony was the only ones that were making Android TVs that were fast enough for most people.
Yep.
The other ones ran it, but it was really slow. And then
Yep.
TCL started coming up and improving their processors. And now the only thing bad you can pretty much say about TCL is that their processing isn't as good as something like the top of the line Sony. But we're talking about to me, a very minor con because the price difference is still there.
Yeah.
So
Price difference.
like if you I'm not going to say don't go out there and buy what you want to buy. If you want to go out and get the best display that you can get and spend tons and tons of money, I'm not saying it's just a waste of money because the companies aren't scamming you. Like they're actually improving every year. But for me, I care most about value. And if I spend $4,000 on a TV that looks like the best thing in the world, it looks like the best thing in the world, but is the money going to is the money stretching? Like is it valuable to me? And I feel like it's a lot more valuable to spend, like even if you spend $2,000 on the Hisense UX, that TV has a philosophy behind it. It's a company that is saying we will try our hardest to make this TV the best thing that you will ever see.
Right.
And I guarantee they're going to do a good job at it because they have to. Because if they don't, people are going to lose interest in Hisense.
Yep.
They have a vested interest in making this the best TV that you will ever see.
Right.
Versus Sony or Samsung or LG, they know people trust them because they have brand recognition.
Exactly. I agree with you and that's why they got me with that laser TV that Dell's talking about. They market it as a television. It's a projector, but they market it as a laser TV. So if you want a 100-inch TV and you don't want to spend $25,000, here you are. You get a
Hey,
screen
Vincent,
on the wall.
Vincent,
Yes.
there's a 98-inch TCL that makes a lot of projection projectors go to shame. TCL has a 98-inch.
TCL.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, I'll
yeah.
look it up. But did y'all go
And,
see
and
that Air movie?
go again, Brandon.
I was saying, did y'all go see that Air movie, the Michael Jordan biopic?
No, I haven't seen it.
I ain't gonna see it. I don't think it did that well in the theaters. At least the first couple of weeks.
It has a 92% on Rotten Tomatoes, so people like it.
Yeah, but I don't think I know it wasn't the number one movie. I almost
I
yeah.
think I'm gonna go see it because I've never really taken the time to understand the history behind like why. Well, I understood why Michael Jordan was so celebrated, but I never understood why the Air Jordan was so crazy, and even to this day is so crazy. And now I'm looking into it, like it shaped multiple generations, and it's crazy to think about.
Yeah, I mean, well, when he came in, they took a risk on him because didn't nobody know Michael Jordan was gonna be like that, And when they took a risk on him, because if you look at it, they wanted to go after Charles Barkley, to go after Charles Barkley, and they end up choosing Michael Jordan. I heard the movie. I heard the movie is straight. But I know a lot of people were saying you can kind of wait for it to come to the streaming. You can have it wait for it to come streaming. But I
Six
don't.
six thousand dollars for that QLED TCL.
Yep.
Yeah. So
I take my Hisense laser television.
But one thing that I feel there's always little stuff that I feel like a lot of people don't talk about. Like for a projector, right? You have to have a high quality screen to be able to get everything out of that projector. With a TV, it's there because everything is built into this one box. So I'm not saying that you shouldn't spend, literally half the price on a good projector, but it depends on people's use cases. Like for example, I would I in my living room, I could probably get away with a 98-inch TV
Mm-hmm.
versus a 98-inch projector screen and then a short throw projector just because of the space limitations. And also, a lot of people don't realize that it's a lot different building a 98-inch pure display because we're talking about you have to build big plastic lenses. You have to build entire pixel. What do you call it? Matrices, and you have to ship this. You have to pay for the box. Like it, a lot of stuff goes into building a very, very, very large TV. Especially because the bigger the TV gets, the more opportunities for differences to happen between each TV. Which is why you'll see
I say the
if you
lottery. They say
yeah,
they
the
always say the
panel
lottery.
lottery.
The
The
panel
panel
lottery.
lottery. The bigger the TV gets, the more likely it is that it'll be messed up. And that's just the truth in terms of manufacturing.
And then you get a
And
big television like that, then you have to have somebody come in and calibrate it for you.
yeah. And
And then
that's heavy.
you're spending another six, seven, or $800 on the calibration.
But I mean, TCL, in my opinion, I will openly say I am very partial to TCL just because
Okay.
I I love TCL as a company. I love their philosophy and I love the displays that they produce.
Right.
And
I like the Hisense.
they're both. I
Yeah,
love both of them.
I
To be
like
honest with you,
I'm
I just
partial to
chose
the
the
Hisense. That one Dell has is, I think, one of the best TVs out there for the
I
price.
I like the U8H, and I also like the when the U8H first came out. TCL's offering was the R646, which is
Right.
just their
And I
six
looked at
series.
that because I looked at that before I bought my Sony. The two of
Mm,
them, the Hisense and the Sony 90 X95K, and the
mm,
Hisense U8G because that had just
mm,
come out, and then the TCL, the R6 or whatever it's the R6.
646. 646.
Right.
mm,
And the TCL was having a problem with the Google.
Right.
That's when they first
Oh
were
yeah,
having a
that's
problem
yep,
with the
yep.
Google, and they
Yeah, but
actually
they
pulled
fix
them
it to
off.
the firmware update after though.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
pulled
they
them off.
fixed it.
Yeah, I know they fixed it, but they were and I ended up getting the Sony when I should have got the Hisense.
Right, but what happened?
Paid myself
I used to have TCLs, and then when the Hisense came into play, then I bought a Hisense, and
right
to
now,
date
all
I
I
still have
buy is
my
Hisense.
65-inch UHD.
Yep, all I buy now is Hisense television.
Yeah,
Can't beat it for the price.
Yeah. And,
But
you can't go by to that UHD at all.
Yeah.
but oh, go ahead. Sorry.
go ahead. No, you can go ahead, and then we gonna have to wrap it up. I'm about to get ready to go upstairs to watch this game.
I was just saying that TCL has made a lot of people like the first 8K TV that they've ever seen, because TCL actually came out with some of the very first 8K TVs in the United States. And I'm personally not like a huge fan of 8K. I don't think it makes that big of a difference when we're going from 4K to 8K, because once you go high enough, the law of diminishing returns happens, and then
There's
yeah.
no
But
content. There's no
Yeah, but
8K.
there's hardly any 8K content anyway.
people said that about people said that about 4K
But even
TVs when
at
they were first
4K,
coming
I
out.
mean, if you look at 4K and you look at your television stations, rarely do you get 4K television stations. Every once in a while, they'll broadcast things at 4K, but for the most part, they don't. And so it's because my receiver, I was like, I was my rants. I had to have the 8K one for what?
Well, I mean, what if you get an 8K TV now? Let's say in 5 years, which is about how long it took 4K to become kind of the standard. It could be there. I don't know if it will, because
How
just
would you
based
say?
on
How long does TVs normally last?
last in terms of the market, mostly like what 2
2 years.
years
About
ish.
2
2
years.
years and they're gone, and
Yeah,
you're
2
wanting
years.
something else.
But if we're talking about like the life of a TV, most TVs today can last like double digit years.
Right.
Not these new ones they're making, Brandon.
All right,
Say that again.
I'm ready
Not
to
these
watch.
new ones. Probably the Sonys or the Sonys or the Samsungs. But not the LG doesn't last that long. TCL Hisense doesn't last that long. It lasts probably more than 5 years.
Shit. Mine's been over 5 years. My LG. That's that 70-inch.
Yeah,
If you get 5 years, you get a lot.
I have a Samsung that I've had for, let's see, the first year that the Warriors and the Cleveland played, because that's when I had to go buy a television. So I don't know what year that was.
Yeah, Samsung and Sony last the longest.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
And well, check it out, guys. It is after 10 o'clock. They showing the previews of my game.
All right. Yeah.
Hey, I appreciate everyone. Hey, if everything go good, look, on Tuesdays usually it just depends when I get off work, and we can continue this tomorrow. I didn't get a chance to show my little app, but I can show it possibly tomorrow, and y'all might like this application as far as a backup to your locals, at least, but it doesn't work on all devices. So we'll talk about that a little bit, because we got deep into these TVs and stuff today. So if everything go good tomorrow, I'll jump back live. So make sure y'all stay tuned in. But other than that, guys, I got to get up here because this game is about to come on, and I'm not about to sit here and watch it. I'm going upstairs in the recliner and with my water, and then go from there. So talk to the people before we get up out of here.
Yeah, thanks, Dell. Everybody, I'm back. I've been gone for a while. I listen in the background, or a lot of times I'll watch the videos. And Brandon, you've added a lot. In a short period of time, you've added a lot, and a lot of stuff that a lot of people may not have known. You got Dell to see that Doom, because he trashed it, and I know people that like it. I'm not one, but I'm a Zapiti guy. Yeah. I just like the way the interface. But thank you, everyone. Thanks for the condolences. And I'll see you guys later.
All right. Thanks. Hey, Rich, you want to talk to the people?
Yeah, thank you for having me as usual, Dale. I just drop in to put in my little 2 cents.
Oh yeah,
You know?
it's always good to get other individuals to come in and give their 2 cents, right? Hey, look, at the end of the day, it's all about personal preference. And whatever you like, just like I talked about the person who had the insignia, they may think the insignia is the best form. So, I mean, hey, but hey, I was one of them people, though. Hey,
You talk about lottery panel. Woo, that is really a lottery panel.
hey, Vincent will tell you, so I thought I was good with my little surround sound and
Yeah,
stuff.
he was. Then he got a taste of the good stuff, and look at him now.
Hey, Vincent say, hey, man, you need to check out that Elevate, man. Go on up in there. And I went to Best Buy, that same Best Buy, and I say, oh, my goodness. I said, I'm taking this home. I'm taking it home. So, yeah, it's just personal preference, what you like. And, hey, you're going to get there. It just may take a little bit of time. That's what it's all about.
Hmm.
Hey, Brandon, you want to talk to the people before we end this?
Well, as usual, I tune in to every single stream. I love being on here, just sharing my experience, coming from a different point of view than a lot of people, and giving people the information that is useful so that they can get what they want and have the best experience. So I appreciate it.
Absolutely. I agree. I agree. And you know what, Brandon? I'm going to do something on the Friday show. Because I meant to tell you this not last week, but the week before. They felt like we went too fast on when you were setting up the files to display. Like
Hmm.
when we ripped the whole movie,
Hmm.
they felt like we were like kind of fast on that, and they didn't catch it right away. So if you're not busy this Friday, I would like to uh, go over that a little bit. And I wouldn't watch the live. I ain't think it was that fast, but we
Are
might
you?
just slow it down. That way, when you had, I think you did yours in the ISO, but you
Yeah.
had the extra features, all of that.
Okay, I get you.
Yeah. So if we can go over that a little bit, and then
I'll actually. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
we'll talk about some other stuff. So,
I was just about to say I'll actually rip some actual movies beforehand so that way I can show what the files look like, and I'll actually pop them on the what you call it, the Zadoo, and do all of that so I can go from the starting process to what it would actually look like and play like on the Zadoo.
yeah, and that's what she was saying. I had a couple people actually reach out. They were like, "Hey, I got the hashtag, but I told them, I say, look, I go with the movie, the straight movie, the film. But after they saw what you were talking about, they was like, that's kind of a neat feature with the hashtag and setting it up when you go and select the movie and you get the extra features and stuff like that to come along.
Mm.
And
I'm like you, Dad. I just want the movie.
yeah, I'm just a movie guy.
I don't want any of the other stuff.
Yeah, but yeah, so if we can, yeah, definitely revisit that and then go from there. So and then yeah, we'll do that. Let's do that on Friday if you're available.
I'm available. Yeah, we can do it.
All right, so we'll do that. So everybody, I'm getting ready. My team is winning 3-0 right now. So I'm and look, if everything go well, I'm gonna be super super happy when I go to work tomorrow. But it's all about AD and what he do. Hopefully he don't break a fingernail and be out the next. You know? So hey, I appreciate everybody tuning in. Thank y'all. And this is what the show is about: education. And as you see, all of us got different preferences, and it works for all of us. So
Options.
it's definitely options on
Options.
and different ideas, and that's what we like, and I'm quite sure that's what y'all like. That's why y'all be emailing me and saying, "Hey, Dale, can you this and this and this and this?" And it's a pleasure for me to do that. So, again, salute to y'all out there. Thank y'all so much, everybody. Thank y'all for looking out for Chris over the weekend. I think that was Friday.
Did he have a good time on his birthday?
Man, this guy kicked me off my brand new Hisense television. And guess what he got on it? The PlayStation 5.
Oh, okay.
So
That's
when
what
I'm
you got him one for his birthday.
yeah, man.
I know that looked good.
Man, hey, listen. It looks so good on that WWE. I'm watching him play the WWE. You can see the sweat on this video game, man. Oh yeah, it's definitely
Put that Gran Turismo in.
Hey, you see him
Yeah,
the wheel to that bad boy, man.
that game looks magnificent on the PlayStation 5.
I can't wait. Hey, listen, he ain't even put it in, but I'm about to put it in. I'm about to kick him off his own game.
But one thing you got to realize, you those updates for Gran Turismo 7 are huge. It's gonna take a minute.
Damn.
They're real, like I'm talking about like hundreds of gigabytes big.
Damn, man. Yeah.
They're real big.
Before we leave, I did see a guy who had the PS5, and he was showing the Gran Turismo. Man,
It looked good.
that cat say, man, this is one of the best experience race games you will ever play. And he said, man, this is what it's all about. So I'm a hopefully I play that, sometime this weekend, because I think it's supposed to be like a quiet weekend around here, like no big fights or nothing like that. So we should.
Mother's Day's weekend. It ain't gonna be quiet. It's Mother's Day weekend.
Oh yep, Sunday.
So don't make no plans.
Dude, it's my birthday on Saturday.
Oh, that's what's up.
Happy birthday to you.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm gonna do my Mother's Day on Saturday, man. Give her whatever she and be done with it, man.
Yeah, we buried my father Saturday.
Yeah,
man. Funeral Saturday. We bury him Monday because he's a veteran. So
yeah.
But we have his funeral Saturday.
Yeah. Okay then.
Closure.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we got a few of them in my family. We got quite a few vets in my family.
Right.
Yep. Well, all right, guys.
Take care, Brandon.
Everybody. And we'll jump on this next one.
Take care, y'all.
If everything go well tomorrow, I'll show y'all that new application that may work for you, depending on the device that you're putting out there. So peace out, guys. Talk to y'all later. This SUPERDELL. I'm out this joint. Peace.